Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Pack, sports, life, and everything in between, right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. And we are glad that you're with us. It is a very different morning today, Josh. We are brought to you by Lava Lady Cattle, and we are in the Potosi Live studio. We've got a My Town segment brought to you by Big Country Electric Co-op, our Pest Patrol phone line, and all the things that happen. We've got a Major League Baseball report we'll probably try to get to, but Josh, we've been on the air for 5 years, and we may have, outside of a monument, our first breaking story to really how you're watching a show, you're listening to a show, and all of a sudden breaking news happens. And Josh, this is our first.
The first?
I
mean, I'm trying to think of one. It's just like, it seems like a bold statement, but I don't think it's hyperbolic.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's pretty accurate. I can't think that I know of that where we have had a situation where something has come and broke newsworthy that we knew going in or going into the show, or because it happened during the show or right before the show. It's not like unsportsmanlike and like the shows that start at 6 in the morning where this is what they got. In fact, it was before that because I get up at between 5:30ish and 6, and that's when I'm watching Unsportsmanlike on ESPN and the breaking news that some of you, if you're into sports and you're into Twitter and maybe you haven't had a chance to figure out what's going on, don't know about, but everybody else may. It's I think it's the first.
Okay.
Would you not?
I think I agree.
Well, so
there's a lot of shows I have to try to remember, but I think you're correct.
Well, so for those that are waking up, and I started thinking about how we were going to talk about just sports in general, and this was before the news that we're about to let you know about, is there's a lot going on, Josh. We've been the hype of Caitlin Clark, the Stars, the Mavs, the Rangers are still floating above 500 in a way that literally treading water. The NFL schedule was released. We know who the Cowboys are going to play. We know who's at home. We know who's on the road. We know what matchups out there are going to be exciting for the NFL. And then this morning, and let me rephrase it, it's also championship weekend in the major championship and PGA championship at Valhalla. And this morning, breaking news, Scotty Scheffler, the number one golfer in the world, on his way to the golf course, one of the things that happened was there was an accident involving a pedestrian that was unfortunately killed, causing a traffic issue on the way into Valhalla Country Club. Scotty Scheffler, the number one golfer in the world, whether it's a misunderstanding what happened, long story short, has been detained in handcuffs.
It is. It's kind of hard to imagine, like he is the number one golfer in the world, driving to the golf course for his tee time, and how it all unfolded as far as I guess the official statement was he did not follow the orders of the police as they were directing traffic, and that easily could be a misunderstanding, or it who knows, but. Yeah, for that to escalate to being arrested is quite. That's a big jump. I mean, because I've been in traffic situations where the cops are out there and they're all right. You go, okay, you go, and I could see getting confused. Driving the wrong direction because it was dark, lights flashing, all of that. But how? And I could see even getting impatient, doing something maybe you shouldn't have done. But how does that turn into getting arrested?
Well, and this is Jeff Darlington, who covers the NFL for ESPN and also golf with the ESPN. Breaking news. This is from Jeff Darlington's ex Twitter account. Breaking news. World number one golfer Scotty Scheffler has been detained by police in handcuffs after a misunderstanding with traffic flow led to his attempt to drive past a police officer into Valhalla Golf Club. The police officer attempted to attach himself to Scheffler's car, which, let me finish the tweet, Scheffler's car, and Scheffler then stopped his vehicle at the entrance to Valhalla. The police officer then began to scream at Scheffler to get out of the car. When Scheffler exited the car, the officer shoved Scheffler against the car and immediately placed him in handcuffs. He is now being detained in the back of a police car. Now, first of all, I don't know how long detained. I don't know how long
he attached himself to. As he drove past, the cop jumped on his car like an action movie.
That's what I don't understand. And Jeff Darlington is now on a Get Up talking about it, but there's been video. And of course, there's again there was a fatality pedestrian hit by, I believe, one of the buses, and I don't know if that's a bus shuttling people to the course. At first, my thought was it a school bus? Was it what? But it shows that it's a white bus. If you've been to a golf tournament, you see them shuttling people from where they park.
You park a long ways off and jump on the bus.
And so this incident's weird. Scotty Scheffler is supposed to tee off. Now, you mentioned in one of our text chains that the tee times have been delayed. The tee times were delayed before the Scotty thing. They were delayed because of the traffic situation, my understanding, because of the wreck.
Right, and to give people and players, I guess, more of the opportunity to get into the course because of the traffic, which that's all around crazy.
Well, and again, I know that, of course, the things we go to right now, I've not gone to an ABC or a non-sports network. I've listened to ESPN, I've looked at Twitter, and that's where I've got all the information. But Jeff Darlington actually has a video. And I'll go to our Twitter and put it up there. But so Jeff Darlington is literally arriving and is at the scene of this, because some of the video that you see of Scotty being handcuffed is from Jeff. And so Scotty tries to ask Jeff, "Can you help me?" And so Jeff's trying to help him. And again, I'll put this on our Twitter page. And the police officer said he's going to jail. And so here's my thought. I don't know the whole situation. Couple things. Was listening to, again, there's a lot of people on site there at Valhalla. That one, some of the golfers, Will Zalatoris and Cam Young, got out of their car and had to walk to get to where they're supposed to be, and ended up finding a golf cart to get in. But all these
abandoned their vehicle on the road.
I guess, I don't know. But here's the thing. You've been to Colonial, if you've been to a golf tournament, all those cars are identified. Either Lexus or Cadillac has their logo, has their something. You can tell if a PGA Tour player, caddy, somebody involved in the tournament is at a hotel, at a restaurant, or driving because they've got a logo on it. And so I just don't, and again, I don't know Scotty personally. No, I don't. But I don't know why, and I think any of us, if we panic and need to get to work, I don't know where there was a pass. I don't know that situation. But I just have a hard time thinking that the escalation that it's gotten to is gotten to where it's gotten to.
Well, that's the part that like you said, I don't know anything about him personally and how he would react in a situation. It seems like it would take a huge step, to go from, you went the wrong way, you went when you weren't supposed to. I told this side to go and not this side, and you went however that all played out. To go from you drove when you weren't supposed to the cop jumping on your car, it seems like that seems unnecessary no matter what the situation. Even if he was driving erratically through the traffic, there's a bunch of other cops there just radio ahead, pull this guy over. I don't understand why he would jump on the car. It just seems like a weird escalation to start it off. And hopefully we find out more, because it just doesn't make sense to go to that level. To jump from a traffic altercation to being arrested seems like it seems like there had to be some things that happened in between there that we don't know what it was. So we kind of got to. It's not easy in the world of Twitter and all of that, but you kind of got to hide and watch. Wait and see what comes out as far as to make a real judgment as to how you should feel about it.
Well, and that's the thing. The play's suspended. I mean, they've got it suspended, and it does say it's suspended because of the wreck and the fatality and all those things that have taken place outside of Valhalla. But Scotty is supposed to, was supposed to, tee off, and I think these are updated on the PGA Tour app. He's supposed to tee off. Let me find Scotty at 10:08, 9:08 our time. Josh, that is just a little bit after our show ends. Couple things. One, how do you? And we're again. This is Lawrence Hall headline report. Not sure what kind of vehicle they were driving there in Valhalla. They normally drive a Cadillac, which you can buy at Lawrence Hall. But how do you get yourself mentally back ready? Even if, let's say he does, because here's the deal that I go back to. I don't care if it's his First Bank and Trust. I don't care if it's Taylor Electric. I don't care any of the companies that sponsor us. We thank you so much. I don't care which police department. I don't care which whatever. I mean, there is high-tech security that travels with the PGA Tour all season long. But I don't care what company there are. There's always a higher up.
Right.
How is somebody, one, my first thought is it's not a very good look right now for anybody in this situation.
Oh, no, it doesn't look good for the police because it kind of seems like it might be an overreaction. It doesn't look good for Scotty Scheffler because he did something to result in being arrested, and then it taints the rest of the tournament depending on how he comes out from
and what happens from this.
Yes.
But how is somebody not calling, and again, I know SVU is a fictional TV show, but how is nobody waking up the chief? Hey, have you turned on TV?
Yeah, we need some command decision.
We need something. We need somebody at this situation now. Because
but then you're in a spot if you're the higher ups with the Louisville police department, you're in a spot where like if you just instantly release him, well then you've thrown your officer completely under the bus. Like no pun intended, but someone actually getting hit by a bus,
right?
Because you're going to just overtly without you'd have to dig into it some because you don't want to just make it out that your cop overreacted completely and blew it out of. So you've got to, I don't know. It is a PR nightmare
for both.
Yeah, for everybody involved. So it's it's bad and obviously a tragedy that someone did lose their life in the incident that led to this. That's a bad enough look that there's a traffic accident.
There's
on the way to the tournament, and so it's a.
You've got a bus driver that possibly, or I guess I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, but you have a bus that was involved that ended up unfortunately killed somebody. You've got now the Kentucky or Louisville police and the number one golfer in the world having a disagreement, and I don't know. It just and you feel there's so much to cover. We just went through our Lawrence Hall headline report. It is a headline. It is the top. When we come back, we're going to try to talk some baseball. We'll try to talk golf. We're going to try to make sense of any of this, and hopefully we'll get some help. We'll be back right after this.
We need lots of help.
Okay. Mm. When we come back, we'll talk a little. We'll do some of the headlines just brief. I don't even. It's so wild.
What?
Just to get me have it off with it.
Is logged in to KLTV1069.com, listening to the best sports radio show in the Big Country, the Hodge Pack, bringing the action to you.
We are bringing the action to you. Hodge and Josh here in the Potosi Live studio, rocking and rolling. Big news of the day: Scotty Scheffler, #1 golfer in the world, involved in an incident this morning that has resulted in being detained in handcuffs, and so he's supposed to tee off at 9:08 our time, and that is yet to be determined to see if he makes that tee time. A lot going on there. A couple other things. Mavs are one game away from getting to the Western Conference Finals. The Dallas Stars still need one win to get to the Western Conference Finals themselves. And, of course, we've got baseball going on. Go to our Twitter, at the Hodge Pack Sports. Go to our Twitter, and you can look up a chance to win 4 general admission tickets. Josh, we're less than a week away from the Flying Bisons. Not kicking off, throwing off, I guess you would say. Their first pitch next Thursday, May 23rd. They'll be kicking everything off next week. And so go to our Twitter, follow us, follow the Bisons, tag a friend or two, and we'll be giving away some tickets for that game opening day next Thursday. Josh, last night I was at Walt Driggers Field watching as we begin our First Bacon Trust Texas Ranger Major League Baseball / high school baseball report. I was at Walt Driggers Field on the campus of McMurray yesterday as Abilene High and Wiley are playing in the regional quarterfinal last night. Wiley up, I believe it was 7-0. But rain started to come down, so they're going to have to finish that today. First time since '96, I believe, that crosstown playoff baseball happening. So that's happening at Walt Driggers tonight. So if you've got something you're looking to do, 6 o'clock Wiley, Abilene High, and then it'll follow game 2 tonight. And then also at 1 o'clock, depending on what they got done, Hawley and Albany will be playing at 1 o'clock at Walt Driggers Field. Again, district foes playing each other today in high school baseball. Of course, there's a lot. We'll talk more about the other baseball teams and softball going on. But again, breaking news, Scotty Scheffler, NBA. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll have to bring those headlines in as we come back from each segment because there's so much going on. But Josh, Major League Baseball is still happening. We can't just make it all about golf. But we'll see.
It's sad for you, isn't it?
Well, it is a little bit because I just wish there was a way. And I've got a friend of mine that lives in Kentucky and in Louisville. She works at a co-op there. and she's going to the tournament, I believe, maybe today and tomorrow. And I texted, "Hey, can you get somebody to help Scotty?" And she sends me a picture of her being at the practice round. And then the next text was, "Oh, blank, I just now saw this." She didn't know what I was talking about at first. But anyway, so Josh, Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers still paddling above that 500 mark, but find themselves in second place. Give us a little bit, because again, you are our Jeff Passan or whatever because you have valleys and I do not.
Yes, I get to watch games. It's been interesting. The sweep at the hand of the Rockies over the last weekend was demoralizing because the Rockies, although the Rockies went on to beat the Padres a couple of games after that, so maybe the Rockies are just on their one little heater they'll get on for the year, because every baseball team does, no matter how bad, have a good stretch, and every good team has a bad stretch. So that's just the way that baseball goes. To paraphrase Ron Washington, but. Yeah, they're 4-6 in their last 10. Had an atrocious end to a road trip that ended at 500. In which a road trip coming back on a 10-game road trip, 5-5 on that trip is not a terrible thing. But when it ends with a sweep at Colorado, it's pretty disheartening. So that but that happened back at home. Angels come to town for the weekend, so hopefully we can take advantage of the Angels, who are in a bad funk of their own, and get going back in the right direction. They are one win back from the Mariners, so it's second place, but it's still very close. Really, the frustrating thing is that they've not been able to have consistent production from some of their big guys. Seager has kind of come around recently. It looks like Garcia's kind of back on track to move in the right direction, because he was not right there for a while after getting hit by a pitch. It seems like he had missed games, but he has not been the same player, and I can understand that. It's baseball's hard, and if you have anything that's bothering you at all, it makes it obviously that much harder. So it's I guess the part that frustrates me is, as bad as the rest of the division has played. The Astros are kind of making a move and playing well recently, so that's something to keep an eye on. We haven't been able to kind of separate when we've had this opportunity, so it's going to make it where, it's going to keep it interesting, I guess.
Well, it looked like they had a bit. They've got about 3 or 4 games above 500. And then we talked about how, and even my dad said, the Rangers did what Rangers normally do when they went to Colorado. They played the charity team, and instead of being the Harlem Globetrotters playing the Washington Senators, the Washington, whatever the team was that always played the Harlem Globetrotters, they let the guys win. And sitting there 9 wins, and then you leave with 12.
Right.
But I think one of the things that you can't not talk about the Angel series this week is a man coming back to Arlington. It's a newer stadium, but coming back.
Yeah, it will be Ron Washington's first trip back as a opposing manager. He's been back as the third base coach a few times, but it's so there's all of the love for Ron Washington and the run that he had with the Rangers before the wheels completely came off. I'm glad that he's got an opportunity to manage again. The problem is the Mike Troutless Angels are really, really bad, and I kind of feel for Ron Washington, because he's got in the situation where it's just not good, and it's gotten worse as the season has gone along. He had to know that going in, that they were a rebuilding team, and they brought him in for his coaching and leadership abilities, because he is a very good coach, as far as like building players up, and he has a strong history of that. But yeah, he comes to town, and we get to go against him, and hopefully we bury him a little bit further.
Well, and again, Washington was one of those, had that awkward exits from Texas, who took us to literally the promised land, but wasn't able to enter it, and then had his rough way out. My favorite Ron Washington story I love to tell, and you may have heard it, and you're going to get to hear it again, and listeners are going to get to hear it for the first time. We were in D.C. for a MAC military affairs committee trip, and we were at DC. We went to watch the Nationals play, and they were playing the Braves. And Ron was the third base coach. Well, needless to say, baseball is good, but it's not as good. So, needless to say, there was a lot of empty seats at the stadium that night. Well, I decided, I'm like, man, that's Ron Washington. So I go down and get real close. Hodge a little scared sometimes. Not really. So I get close and I start, hey, Wash, we miss you in Texas. And he looks back and gazes at me like, hey, somebody knew who I was. I don't think anything of it. I'm watching it. He goes in and tosses me a baseball. I felt like I was about an 8-year-old kid. Ron Washington threw me a baseball, and to this day, I still have that baseball that Ron Washington threw to me as an Atlanta Brave, who was my favorite team growing up because they were on TBS. And I have a Ron Washington baseball and a story to go with it.
Yeah, that is a good story.
And
I
so
like that. It's feel good moment for Hodge.
It was. Speaking of feel good, this is a side note because I can say this because I saw it last night. You got two graduates.
Oh yeah. My boys are officially just about to be first graders, so it's a big day, I guess. It's next Thursday is the actual
Graduation.
Yeah.
Do they do project graduation for kindergarten?
Yeah, you skip nap time and drink a lot of Capri Suns.
Door prizes are big erasers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that was really weird, but I thought of that because again, it's our first Making Trust Texas Ranger report. Texas Rangers still creeping above one game above 500, which still Bochy can keep that as a record. But
I want to put some room there so we don't have to worry about flirting with it so much, But yeah.
And then Misty, how are you this morning?
Hi, good morning. I'm great.
So I guess you.
I am working. Yes, I know. I knew.
Are you golfing? You got a polo on. Are you golfing
No.
today, or is this honor of the PJ Championship?
No.
We're gonna do a prayer vigil for Scotty and
Yeah.
all that.
That doesn't need any more drama. So definitely not needing me anywhere associated with that. No, I've got a event today. I'm on the board for CAC, and so we have an event today at prom time for some kids.
You might have,
Child Advocacy Center.
Okay, thank you, because that's
So-
what. There's nothing worse when. No, but
Yeah, that was probably bad. I should clarify.
well, no, sports life and everything in between. There's nothing worse than when people start throwing around their acronyms and
And you have no
expect
idea
you to
what
know
it
it.
Here,
Yeah,
guess what it is?
yeah, man. I got CAC today. He's like, is that a disease? I mean, she checked out.
I can't tell you how many times someone has used an acronym with and there's a lot of them in the banking world, and sometimes
Yes.
some people throw one out and I'm like, I don't remember what that is. But you don't want to admit that you don't remember what it is, or you're like confused, and so you just roll with it for a while, and then you have to Google it later. Like, and then sometimes it's something like, why would I know that?
Exactly. I have a story about that, but I can't say it on air. Sometimes Google gets it wrong. So interesting there on some
not
initials.
appropriate.
Just throwing it out there.
There are
Surely that's not what she meant.
Yeah, I was like, oh my.
There are certain things you do not Google, and there's certain things you definitely don't Google and click images,
Yeah.
and that will go south. And
I learned the hard way.
Just
so,
keep the safe search on.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better.
so Texas Rangers report. Texas Rangers above 500. Ron Washington coming to town, and don't forget the Flying Bisons are in town next Thursday, May 23rd. First pitch. We are giving away.
Bison.
What did I say?
Bisons.
Bison. Yeah,
Bison.
singular. There's not.
Sorry, I had to correct you.
No,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I don't see 75 deers out in the middle of the field. So be sure you get your tickets next week, Thursday, opening day. We will be giving away 4 tickets. Go to our Twitter, like us, follow Abilene Bisons, tag somebody, and we'll do that drawing on Monday and get you ready for tickets on Thursday. When we come back, we'll keep going. We'll get Misty's thoughts, since she's a golfer now, on Scotty Scheffler. And I may or may not have some more information about it. We'll be back right after this. I don't know if it's true, but Sean Martin. Does that look real?
No, it's not. There's no way he'd already be in a prison suit.
Yeah. It is on. Look, it's on whatever your iPad is. That same image is on your iPad right now. Then it is real. Because look, it's on that iPad.
Oh,
Yeah, they said he was going to get arrested.
so they put him in a straight up prison jumpsuit?
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, they just.
Still, you can't tell me there's not somebody higher up that says, hey, and I know what Josh said. You don't want your principal automatically throwing the teacher under the bus.
Right. But yeah, no, they just showed
I don't
it.
understand, like, to get detained or something like that, they take you to the prison and put you in an orange jumpsuit?
Yeah, like he's detained.
There's really no way to know that, and we won't speculate. I've not told you everything that we know for certain about this story. We have
Arrested and processed.
reporters on the scene, and as we get further information, we will certainly pass it along immediately here. In the meantime, we'll continue doing the show that we had planned this morning. We've gone through a bunch of the basketball. Mark Scott is here.
All right. In the rundown I had, schedule release. We'll get your take on that. I want to see if I can.
That is so crazy. Like, wow. I would be freaking out if I was him. I mean, obviously he shouldn't be in there long, but still, like, that really just sucks.
Y'all can't hear this, but I think if his mugshot's online, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I want to see, do you have it right there? Oh, man. Dang.
I just don't understand.
How would you like to be and I know they're loaded, but I think you take money out. How would you like to be Meredith in Dallas? You just had a kid and your husband's arrested.
I'd be freaking out. Like, and you're not talking to your husband. Like, they're not going to let you, you don't just get a phone call like right then. Like,
Well, and if you do get one phone call, unfortunately, he's got to call he's got to call his lawyer.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I would be completely freaking out. I just don't know how it got to that.
Well, that's what,
Like,
how the misunderstanding
Like the
escalated
escalation.
to the cop jumping on the car.
it's wild.
And, like,
It
and
does
then
make you.
full-fledged, like, put in cuffs and, like, the prison jumpsuit?
Well, the analyst that I was watching on ESPN, because we got up and we're watching it, and just Sports Center, and of course breaking news comes in, and it's this. And the guys that were reporting, they were like, we were literally like right there, like we didn't see.
It was Jeff Darlington.
Yeah, from our point of view,
Was
like we didn't see any like craziness from Scotty. Like he wasn't being crazy or anything. Like, yes, he did go another like 10 yards after they told him to stop, but he didn't do anything crazy. Like, he's like, hey, I'm a player. Like, he's obviously in a marked car, which I'm like, I guess that doesn't matter. And I'm sure emotions were running very high for the cops because of the fatality and all of that.
Was that the guy you watched?
Yes.
That's the guy that was filming.
Yes.
And you could tell when he was sharing, he was startled.
Oh, yeah. But that's who we were watching.
We're going to play this when we come back.
But he said, he was like, I didn't see Scotty act in a manner that warranted that type of behavior. But he's like, also like, I don't know if something crappy was said. Like, I don't know. I mean, from Scotty's point of view, you can see how easily he's like, it's routine to just go around the security. I'm going, that's what you do. I'm in a marked car.
Well,
like,
but
I'm
the other
going
thing
onto
is
the
working the Dell match play. The Dell match play it's in Austin Country Club, at Austin Country Club. So it's in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you could tell people, anyway, you could tell how. All right, so we're going to play this when we come back instead of get your internet up. Boom. I'll put this where you can get interest in heart.
Oh, yeah, I've got to figure something out about that.
Are y'all good with schedule if we get into?
I haven't looked at it at all. Are y'all ready for next Wednesday?
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Live and everything in between. Little technical difficulties. We were trying to play what Jeff Darlington was sharing on ESPN again. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack again. A totally different show, different experience for us in the 5 years we've been on of the probably one of the biggest breaking stories that we've had. Again, Scotty Scheffler we've seen, has been arrested and processed. There is a mugshot on the internet now. ESPN has posted it, so it's not like somebody's manufactured something and posted it. Again, Misty joining us now. Again, you got us all. You'll have us all next Wednesday at the JA Golf Tournament. Another abbreviation or acronym is Junior Achievement. And I feel sorry for anybody that gets to that golf hole, but we'll talk about that more later.
He was officially charged with assault of a police officer. So he's not playing this weekend.
So,
Charged with assault of a police officer.
Wow, that is shocking.
so what does
Assault of a police officer, criminal mischief, and reckless driving.
Ooh, they're making an example out of him, aren't they? Wow, that is insane.
They are sticking to that he tried to run over a cop story. Like that's the official Louisville police stance on the he tried to run over a cop.
Wow.
Gosh.
Now, again, I'm going back to what I said earlier. I do not know Scotty Scheffler personally.
It's right, same.
And sometimes people who they say may not portray completely.
Right.
But I have a hard time thinking Scotty, who just had a kid, who's probably getting the best sleep he's going to get leading up past this kid being born, of trying to run over a police officer.
Oh no, same. I mean, we got up this morning to work out, and we always put it on Sports Center, and it's like literally comes across breaking news. And I was just completely shocked because the analyst, what was his name? You had it,
Jeff Darlington.
Yeah, from his point of view, when he was telling the story as soon as it broke, he was like, I was pretty close. Like I didn't see, he didn't see any criminal mischief, I guess, from his point of view. So obviously sounds like there's more to this story that is going to continue to come out. I mean, my personal belief is right now it just seems like complete BS and over exaggeration and escalation. And I mean, you're in a marked car. Like that's the other thing. I just don't understand how, and I can see Scotty's point of view where they say, this happens a lot where there's security, you go around the security, you go to the course, like it's normal to do that if you're a golfer.
And the other thing they were saying is that some of the golfers that found a way to get through it all were able to pass through.
Yes, and right, exactly. But then it's like when this happened, and I don't know if he was going faster. I mean, we don't know. Like this is all speculation because we just don't know. And obviously there's going to be a lot more to this story. But yeah, I'm with you, Hodge. I just have a hard time understanding how the heck did we get here? And yeah, now he's already in a jumpsuit and his mugshot is all over the world. I'm just like, I feel sorry for the guy.
Well, and you think about it. So next week is the Colonial, which is a home golf tournament for Scotty. But it's also another place, and I was mentioning it during the break, I've worked the Dell Match Play in Austin Country Club. And it's in a residential type neighborhood. And when the PGA Tour comes to town, they take over that area. And there's gates and there's roads that are blocked off. And Josh, you'll see that. I mean, you've been to the Colonial, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that's the same way. You've got this neighborhood where you can go this way, you can't go this way. This road is
there's cars everywhere,
and they hand out stuff like to residents. I live here, so yes, I have access to go to
right.
and all that's going on. And so, and again, I go back to the cars that are marked and all these things. And so you were reading that he was arrested and charged with assault of an officer,
criminal mischief, and reckless driving.
So what would the assault of the officer be if the officer jumped on his car?
It's obviously I don't know. It just seems like the strangest escalation ever. But the interesting thing about trying to figure it out is that I don't guess anyone knows. And somebody was saying there has to be some witness out there that was a non-police officer, because all the footage that we have and all the witnesses that have been discussed as far as on TV and on Twitter are people that showed up post the original incident,
Right.
quickly thereafter, but not seeing the original incident. So it's going to take something like that to ever figure out what happened, because I thought that they would like, oh, we had a misunderstanding, kind of let's move it along. But it seemed like they've completely like doubled down on the I guess properness of the arrest.
They don't care who he is. They're
Well,
at all.
and that's the thing. Somebody posted. Do you think Scotty said, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm sure at some point, especially now,
I'm sure he did.
Now here's the deal. Well,
like I'm playing. I'm sorry. Like I'm trying to get over there, and they're like, we don't care.
But again, the thing that's come out of this is that you mentioned the attempt to run over a police officer. Again, I don't think there's any way in the world Scotty Scheffler's playing Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I don't think so either. But here's the thing that compounds the problem. Let's say his lawyer makes some phone calls. They get him released on bail and reconnaissance on whatever. Which would be the normal process for any human.
Right. He'll bond out. Yeah.
So. It may
but you can't bond out in time to get to the 848.
Well,
can you imagine the story
time?
he did?
Do they expedite that at all, or does he have to wait till the normal time that the judge shows up and go through the arraignment with all the other drunks that they pulled over last night?
I'm sure that would be the case.
But that's my thing. You cannot tell me. And I know I say this. I've not ever been in Scotty's situation. But there's got to be a judge, and I know I can't just go off of what I watch on TV, but there's got to be a judge you can go get. There's got to be somebody that you can get this out. I mean, I just don't. I don't know that process.
They have to. The PR part is the problem, because if you do anything that looks like you went above and beyond to hurry and get him out,
we've got privilege. We've got all of that stuff. You can't do that.
You've got problems. Well, if you're the rich white golfer, you can just get out real quick. But if you're the poor black kid, you got to wait for the judge till tomorrow.
They'll process him like a normal. I hate to say it, but at this point, they are deeming him a criminal, right? He is under a criminal act, so they're going to deem him as a criminal. He will be processed as such, and he'll probably bond out later this afternoon. Would be my guess.
Well,
I don't think they expedite anything for Scotty. They don't care. They arrested him.
But here's
do
the thing.
You try to get your tea time back up?
Well, no. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that the PGA is going to have a very difficult time with is, let's say he's released. Let's say he's out now. They took his picture, got him in the system, got his fingerprints, and all right, we'll send your summons for your court date.
Right.
So they hit the road, which that's kind of how that process works. With whatever, depending on how they process that. So let's assume he's out now and he's driving to the golf course. If you're the PGA, can you let someone who just got released for assault of a police officer play in your tournament?
The equivalent of letting, if that happened to an NFL player on Tuesday,
there's no way he's playing Sunday.
Right, exactly. You can't. No,
if that happened to an NFL player, if he was accused of assaulting a police officer, there is. All you got to do is say that somebody Zeke Elliott got suspended for 6 games because his ex-girlfriend said he hit her years ago.
Right. There's no way he's playing in this tournament.
And I'm not saying that that's not the correct response, but by the NFL for suspending somebody for domestic violence, it's just the accusation of it got him suspended. So if you're the PGA. I think minus, and I could be wrong, and obviously I've been wrong a lot, but I think minus a full-fledged mea culpa from the police department saying hey, this was blown out of proportion. It wasn't that big of a deal. We've got it sorted out. Unless the police department says that, you can't let the pending felon
exactly.
But here's the other deal. If you, because a lot of times there's partial truth to all of it.
Well, obviously.
Both sides. Now, I think that the partial truth of Scotty trying to run over a cop, again, not there, hadn't been there, would love to go to Kentucky, would love to be there for the golf tournament, not covering this. That happened. But to what you said, if the PR part is, we overreacted, holy crap, you better hold on to what you got. Because that overreaction costs jobs. Or am I wrong?
No, I mean, it just depends on. I don't think. I mean, obviously they are prosecuting him at this point. He's booked. He's in mugshots everywhere. It looks like, again, I'm assuming and speculating, but it appears that they are going to try him for these charges. Now, should they be dropped? Absolutely. I mean, Jeff's video that was shared and that he talked about this morning, it looked very calm. So unless something happened in that car or before that we couldn't see, I don't know if something's going to come out with that, but the video that we have been seeing all morning, it looked very tame. I mean, Scotty just walked. There were no words. Like, it looked very tame from art. But again, it's all speculation.
The other thing that Jeff Darlington reported, and again, you can this will be on ESPN Daily. I mean, if you're on your TV, don't turn us off. But on your TV, if you glance over, like we've got in our studio, looking at what's happened with Scotty, Jeff talks about that the cop actually pulled Scotty out of the car.
Yeah, said his words were ripped. He used the word ripped. That he ripped out of the car, and I was like, "Uh-oh!" Like, I'm thinking about Scotty. I'm like,
Okay,
"Oh,
break news. Jeff Voss from Facebook says a Golf Channel said he is on the way to the course.
Oh my gosh, would that not be insane?
I was just reading on Twitter. The tweet was, charged with a second-degree felony, released with no bail. Something doesn't add up.
But how? Like how, if you're the PGA, would you let him play?
Well, that's my thing.
Like, come on.
I
would love it, but come on.
But what if
Unless, like we said, they come out and they're like, "Hey, this was a huge misunderstanding," but still, come on. This is a joke.
No, because that's what it's weird, but because yes, I'm saying unless the police department says, okay, we kind of messed up, which I don't think they're doing that quickly.
No,
because they've got to. If you're the higher ups of Lexington, Kentucky, you want all this to go away.
Right.
But at the same time, if you just completely throw the officers on the ground and so like, all right, we're gonna just let them be the bad guys, and we're just like, oh, well, this is sorry. Then you got problems, and if you don't do, I don't know, there's no easy way out of it.
Well, and I feel
Hodge is laughing hysterically.
They've already processed him, so that's why I'm just like, I don't think they're gonna come out and say, oh, it's a misunderstanding.
We're gonna be back right after this. The internet will never be.
Oh, the memes that are going to come from this.
Tiger Woods picking you up from the cave. No big deal.
Big dog. Come on, big dog. Oh my gosh. Oh, the memes that are going to come from this, the internet, they're already probably circulating. It is going to. Can you imagine, though, if he tees off?
Well, I just don't.
I don't see how that happens.
I was thinking about that. Like, he's rushing back to the course, and it's like,
oh my gosh! I mean,
I just can't imagine.
If Scotty doesn't borrow an orange outfit from Ricky today, that's a huge missed opportunity.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they are going to destroy. The internet will destroy his mugshot.
But I don't. If you're the PGA. Like higher up, you're sitting in your office right now, or in your panic room.
It's BS if he's already out. I mean, come on, that just shows that y'all screwed up.
But how? And you got to think about it. And I don't like this lens, but how white privilege is it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm going to disagree.
See, I said privilege earlier. This is totally white privilege.
No, I disagree. If that would have been a high-profile black player.
Golfer,
not golfer, any athlete, high profile.
Well, then you have athlete privilege. I mean, it's the same thing. Privilege is privilege.
Oh, it's privilege.
It's total. Like, if that's you, you're still in jail, boo boo. You're not getting out.
My issue is, I think that the public
persona is
the public outcry from the people who like to outcry things.
Yes.
Would say it's because he's white, he got special treatment.
But if that's Tiger Woods, he's out too.
I don't disagree.
But I'm just saying, then you go back to the athlete.
The other thing is, I don't know whether it would happen to Tiger Woods because I think everyone would have known who Tiger Woods was.
Well,
one of the tweets that I saw that I thought was very true. Very funny. It's like, all of you are saying, like, how do you roast Scotty Scheffler? How do you not know who he is? are really overestimating how few people care about golf.
Well, that's what I thought that was funny too. Like if I saw
Well,
him in
I think
person,
that's a-
I may be like, wait, is that?
He looks familiar.
Right.
I would not know who
I
he
don't
was.
Where-
think I would know either.
Right.
Where-
And
I've
it's
seen his
pitch
picture.
black.
Yeah.
It's pitch black. That cop is going. You know, their adrenaline's running too.
But the other thing that I disagree. Yes,
Tiger Woods and John Daly and Phil Mickelson, I would have known immediately.
Right.
You go like much
And
past
he
that.
never gets prosecuted if
Right.
it's Tiger Woods. I don't think he gets. There's no mugshot. They let him go. They're like, oh, sorry, Mr. Woods, you're onto the course. But I can just imagine Scotty's probably like, hey, I'm Scotty Scheffler. And they're like, we don't care who you are.
Yeah.
They had no idea probably who that was.
Because I do think there are very few golfers that do have actual larger public appeal that people would know who they were.
Well, and also Jeff said that the cops were in like these bright yellow jackets. So they really looked like security guards because it was raining.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what Jeff said. He was like, they didn't look like cops. Like, I really think Scotty didn't realize that they were cops, and that's why he kept going. Because
Yeah, it's like if the security guard's telling me to stop, I
and
got
it
someplace
was,
to be.
some were in vest, and you could definitely tell that they were an officer underneath their vest, but a lot of them had these like highlighted
Yeah,
yellow
so-
rain jackets. Yeah, and they didn't look like cops.
But it's
But y'all, if he tees off, what if he teed off and freaking won this thing? Like, you talk about the mental stability of a player. I can't even imagine if that happened. That would be the craziest story ever. But I just think, yeah, there's no way the PGA could let him play. And if they do, man, the backlash
I
is
just
going to
know
be real.
that there is in the other sports,
Yes.
like the NFL especially,
Oh, yeah.
it would be like
I can't imagine. I don't know. I'm just like, I just don't feel like there's any way because they will get a ton of backlash. But I don't know. I also didn't think
unless there's solid like evidence, video of the incident that makes it look like he did not do anything wrong.
Right.
You know, like
And we need a press conference from the police department. Being
And
like,
see,
hey, my bad, this
Yeah.
happened, blah, blah, blah. But the
But
dude
see,
has
and I
already
can-
done his mugshots everywhere.
and see, I can understand like I've been in you've been in traffic situations where it's
yeah.
easy to get confused. The
Yes.
cop's telling you to go this way, and you're like,
Yes.
he's talking to me, he's talking to him. Oh wait, I'm not. And I could also see, being told you need to stop your car, you need to pull over, and you're thinking, well, I'll pull over right over there, and that's not where the cop wanted you to pull over. So
welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. It's rocking and rolling. There's so much going on, I can't even tell you. But we're gonna take a break from Scotty for a moment, and it's time for Misty's Back.
All right. So, yeah.
what's going on?
This morning I'm just all hyped up on Scotty. All right, we're going to pivot. So this question comes from a listener. So Clark KK78 is who sent this question in. So we'll give him or her a shout out. So it says, you're in charge of creating a new sports award. What is the award you are creating?
Well, I'm going to start with this. It's a joke, but I would create, because there would be so many people that would be up for this award, the most annoying but enthusiastic, somebody check on him stability-wise, sideline strength and conditioning coach.
That's the longest award
I know,
ever.
yeah.
I was like having a hard time following what all was going on there.
The reason I say that, if you've ever watched the college football, sometimes at the level, the high school level, there's always that over-enthusiastic, how many Red Bulls did you drink? Because if like a false start happens and it benefits their team, they lose their mind. You know what I'm talking about? That sideline coach
Oh yeah.
that just loses it and does.
You mean Sean McVay? When he's running down like a maniac?
Well, he's running to call timeout or do something
Right,
like
but
that.
he is very animated to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I don't remember what the title was, but that guy.
Yeah, please say it again. It's like,
Yeah, you can't even remember it.
I
myself.
can't either. It was very lengthy. But yeah, no, hey, it doesn't have to be prestigious. We can make up our own.
I can assure you, if that guy or girl won that award, it would mean a lot to them.
I would like to thank Hodge for naming this award.
I'd like to think I won I don't even remember what I call it, but the pretty hyped up, overhyped guy on the side.
Overhyped award.
That's the short version. The overhyped.
Strength and conditioning coach from the sideline running like a maniac.
And the winner is.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Well, I'm trying to think of a good name because your naming convention was really off there.
That's going to be an acronym.
That's called the alphabet.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no one knows what that is. But it's going to have something to do with, like, I'm picturing the trophy looking almost like the Heisman Trophy.
Okay.
It's a large trophy, except this trophy is just of a horse's rear. And then you can be like I'm trying to think of a I don't know, politically correct way of saying like equine rear,
Jack.
The jack of all trades.
Yes.
Jack arse.
So and it would be for the person who made the biggest rear of themselves for
a season
for like the Heisman Trophy, you get it, but it's just like what was like just you made a rear of yourself. Here's your trophy.
You could have two people up for that award today.
Well, yeah.
One could possibly be an officer, and one could possibly be Scotty Shepard.
One of them.
How do you choose?
No, there'd be a lot that could compete for that, for that particular award.
Narrowing it down, like, can you imagine it's on the ESPYs? It's like the finalists, the last three come up and accept your award. I think something like that would be really comical.
Because it could be somebody, a coach that overreacted, a fan that overreacted.
Kim Mulkey.
Just in general.
Yeah, just in general, like every year.
The umpire that threw out the Yankees mentor for like something a fan said.
Yeah.
He's the leading guy right now.
There's a lot of candidates for that particular
award.
Actually,
I love that award. That would be really good. That's kind of the same, like when I saw this question, I was kind of thinking the same, like, I think I would do...
Hodge could also win that award on the way. He just has a trophy case.
Let's name it after him. We'll name it after him.
All right.
Yeah, it's like the Heisman Trophy, like the Hodge Trophy for equine rearness.
Awareness. See, I'm thinking I want to see maybe
the Hodge Trophy. That's great. We're gonna have a presentation for that.
Actually, we should come up with something. Let's come up with something. The Hodge Trophy. We'll just give it out at the local level because we have a lot of that happening in the big country. So we'll just do that at the local level. I think I'm going with maybe like the best flop of the year. I think we could have something because really, I mean, you could see that in several sports. Or like the diva of the year, that could kind of be the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like you can get them all on video of their big flops, or whenever they're talking smack to an official or something. Kind of similar to yours. A choke artist would be another one that could be good. So I would probably go
maneuver as the
yes, exactly. And you get like but I think a choke. I'll go with choke artist.
I like that. So I've got the overhyped sideline strength and conditioning coach that should not have done what he did, but got excited for a false start award. Josh has got the Hodge Arse award, and then Misty with the choke artist, brought to you by Heimlich and all the first aid.
Hendrick, do you want a sponsor?
Yes.
Choking a hobo.
Yeah, I need a sponsor for this.
Yes. Again, that is Misty's Bag, brought to you by Mulligan's. Be sure you get over into mulligans.com or wherever you can get the Scotty McCreery tickets. He'll be here September 14th. Tickets are rolling off the shelf. If they're on a shelf, go ahead.
And also Mulligan's, this is where I will be on Saturday. They're having a scramble and a crawfish bowl.
Are you doing both?
Okay, slow down. I mean, I know I'm a golfer now, but probably not going to scramble. But
Par 3 scramble sounds fun.
That would be fun. Maybe we should do that. It's a 4-man scramble. Chance to win Fireball and Buffalo Trace gear. And so May 18th, it's going to be a large time, live music, crawfish bowl, all the things, and it will sell out. If you like crawfish, you better get out there. Corey James is going to be slinging some mud bugs, and it's going to be fantastic. It will sell out. It always does. He's fantastic. So get out to Mulligan's this Saturday.
Saturday, tomorrow, Mulligan's. Weather should be great. When we come back, head baseball coach for ACU, Rick McCarty, right after this.
Morgan just texted me, look, the very bottom. So we actually have one of those for our softball team.
Hey, tell coach he can come in. Josh, I'd like you to be on this.
Okay.
What am I looking for?
We're going to talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark.
100%.
Speaking of.
How are you? Good. How y'all doing?
Coach, sorry, it's been a morning. If you've seen any kind of Twitter,
I saw a little bit. I guess. Where's mine?
Come right here. How are you? I'm Misty. Nice to see you.
to see you.
How are you?
Better studio than downtown.
Yes, it's nice. I don't come to the mall.
We don't either. We come on Friday.
That's good. So you're this is Friday morning.
Yeah, every Friday morning.
Okay.
So, yeah, you'll be in that left chair. Yeah, when you get up at 5:30, and it's the closest thing since you've had your radio show to the O.J. Simpson Bronco, and the number one golfer in the world decides to get arrested.
I saw just a little bit of details
Anyway,
in my own world right now. So
yeah, you've got a lot going on.
understandably, society's not everyone else's problem. I got enough problems, right?
Right.
So
Tough one last night.
yeah, frustrating, sloppy game, wet weather. Both teams made 3 errors, just couldn't.
What time did y'all finish? Because I was at ACU or McMurray watching Wiley. And
It wasn't probably close to 8. It's probably 3.5 4 hour game.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
It's a long game.
Yeah, maybe that's right. I can't remember what. It may have been a little less than that.
But it seemed very long.
It seemed long. Yeah, it's an awkward. Our conference tournament's super weird and logistical nightmare this year with the way the seating plays out. So there's a lot to manage this last weekend. I got to take our, Brett Landman, who may be conference of the year. I pulled him at 60 pitches, which is never ideal, on a first game. And of course, Seattle's they're not worried about it. They're not in the tournament right now. So they just get the roll. It's a logistical nightmare in a lot of ways.
So I figure, of course, she put on Twitter big announcement about facilities. Is
Yes.
that what's coming?
Yeah, it'll be out today. Yeah.
Can you talk anything about
Yeah,
that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's going to be released publicly today, so it's good. You guys will get the first.
All right. Hey, new breaking news.
New breaking
news that
news.
doesn't involve anybody going to jail.
I don't know how much. No, don't go that far with the breaking news guy. Yeah, we can definitely talk about it.
This is the first year in the WAC, right? Or year 2?
No, man, this is your 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, your 3. 22, 23 now.
All right. So we got a cup, one more, and we'll be back. Wow. Internet will never be undefeated. The poor, and here's what's bad. It's not only the memes that other people are doing, the things that the tour players are posting on their Twitter accounts. Like Kevin Kissinger's like, man, maybe this is finally somebody put this together so everybody would have a chance to win this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're thinking they're lucky stars right now that he's in an orange jumpsuit.
No.
What year is this for you here?
6.
Ball 3. Ball 4. Bases loaded. The Hodge Pack. Always clear the bases. Right here.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. It is time for hour number 2. We are kicking hour 2 off with our Big Country Electric My Town segment where we highlight a local player, coach, or program And today we're highlighting a coach and program that's still playing baseball. School's out for summer, but not for these Wildcats. Joining us in studio, the head baseball coach at ACU, Rick McCarty. Coach, how you got to watch some mall walkers? Were you timing any of them? We've got some splits on a couple.
No, didn't get to stop watch out this morning, but good for them, man. Good enough to get rolling on a Friday morning.
Yeah, so appreciate you being here. You've got a series going on, as we mentioned, high school baseball, college baseball, softball. School ends, but not for you guys. And so appreciate you taking time to be here this morning. Late night last night, I'm sure you didn't go to bed too early.
No, this is a great time of year for baseball, man. You've got playoffs. From a college perspective, our guys finished up finals last week. So this is just hang out with the fellas, play baseball, and hopefully continue to finish the year strong. So great to see high school baseball thriving here in the big country too, with Abilene and Wiley playing each other. So hate that we can't go watch those games.
Right.
I'm sure those are pretty passionate last night, but good luck to both those schools.
Well, and talk a little bit that I was talking with Sam Ferguson, who now works at ACU, and there's always a lot of talk about Texas high school football in the big country, which we should. There's been some state championships in basketball, which they should. But there's a ton of talent here in the big country that, fortunately for you, from a recruiting standpoint, is nice because you've got some local guys on your team now. Talk about the local baseball. Of course, everybody remembers your son and the local baseball that got highlighted with the Wiley Little League teams. But talk about the local baseball that you get to see here and the benefit of being the head coach at ACU.
Yeah, it's great. I think it starts with the youth leagues. I know there's a lot of passionate people that like baseball here, in the state of Texas, but more importantly, as you mentioned, the big country. So I think it starts there. We've had nothing but great experiences with my family through the youth, baseball leagues here in Abilene, and there's so many good coaches here at the high school level. There's so many good coaches at the schools around, not necessarily in Abilene, but when you look north and south, and we've been fortunate to have some really good players from Clyde and from Jeanette and Abilene and Wiley. So we want to continue to bring those guys on board. There's just that pride. There's pride with I'm a small town guy myself. So if you've got an opportunity to come on over and play at the school, hopefully we're trying to make it a destination school here for guys, and we want to do that by winning and winning the right way, and hopefully winning with local talent.
When you prepare for the conference tournament, I guess that's next week. So tomorrow's your last season game or conference game?
Yes. Yep. We'll wrap up tomorrow.
Okay. So what's the outlook look like as far as traveling to Arizona and all of that? Is that you got stuff kind of worked out for that?
Yeah. It's sharing with y'all earlier, man. It's a logistical nightmare. The way the tournament's set, it's great in some ways. I'm probably traditionalist baseball, 8-team bracket, one plays 8. There's so much parity. The way the way the tournament format is this year, the 1 and 2 seed get a 2-round bye. The 3 and 4 get a 1-round bye. 5, 6, 7, 8 don't. So they're playing on Tuesday, which there's so much to play into this last weekend. When you're trying to take care of arms and make sure guys are rested for the tournament. Because at the end of the day, I think the way everyone, from an RPI perspective this year in our league, you got to win the tournament to get into regional. So that's our goal here, is to kind of set ourselves up for a strong finish in the tournament. We all want to win every game we're playing, though,
right.
So it's very competitive. But so going into this weekend is a little bit of logistics. But we've already got plans, man. We're flying to Arizona on Sunday, so we can either play Tuesday, we can play Wednesday. We can still play Thursday, so if we can take care of business here the next 2 days.
Well, and one of the things, and I want to get to the rest of it, but the whole year, Coach, y'all have done such a good job of creating I think ACU's done a really good job creating the D1 atmosphere from football, basketball, baseball, you name it. And one of the things that you've done in the last few years is bringing Power 5 conference teams to Crusher Scott, and to be able to give the experience for not only the fans, for us going to watch Baylor, going to watch Tech, or I remember a couple years ago watching Michigan State, but giving your players a chance to compete against those guys and getting some wins in your tenure here.
Yeah, no, we want to hang our hat on that. We want to play a very difficult schedule. We want to build the ACU brand, which I think we've done. I think there's a ton of respect for what we're doing here. We're not where we want to be at the end of the story yet, but we're certainly We just won our 30th game for the 4th straight year. So there's consistency with that. It's using the analogy with a couple alumni the other day. It's you guys know the baseball. It's really hard to get to 400.
Right.
So to hit 400 as a batting average, well, that's the 40 win mark. In Division I baseball. 300 is a really good average. You can
Right.
play a long time for 300, but you're wanting to get to 35, 350. You're wanting to get to 400, 40 games. So I think we've done that, and we've done that by scheduling tough people too. So it's not like we're just scheduling wins. And I think we were 9-9 entering this year in our last 2 years of Power 5 schools. So it's a good thing.
And why is it that you think that the baseball world, when it comes to Power 5 against a group of 5, are so good to work with and willing to do so?
Yeah, I think we play 56 games. So football you're playing 10.
Right.
It's the strategy in that's totally different. With us, we're all fighting in Texas. Geography is so big. We're the outpost, so to speak. Here, we're 3 hours for a midweek game. When you stack that with academics and time on the road, and you put that in the whack, or we're flying to the West Coast sometimes, which is great. Our guys have got to go to Utah, got to go to California and Arizona to play baseball games. So, Texas A&M 6 hours from 5.5 hours from us. So to play TCU to come play us, Baylor's 3, we're 3. So it's just worked out well, and I think our RPI is at a point too now where if and when we do beat them, it's not just a killer for their RPI. It's a good game for them to win when they come to Abilene now.
It's not the other way around when 5A high schools would not want to play 3A because there wouldn't be a chance.
Yeah.
There was no win-win for them at all.
Right. No, I think not that we're TCU's that by any means, but I think there's a healthy respect in terms of, like I said, when we do beat them, it's not just a dagger to their postseason chances.
Right, and that is a testament to what you've done there. That you've made something that you not only get those teams here, but play with them and kind of maintain that mutual respect. I've been impressed by that a lot. I know that from what I've heard, I don't know, so it's just assumption, but you're very much into the analytics side of baseball and coaching. Can you explain how that works on the college level?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're enamored with it. I think it's important. We want to be known as a program that develops players. I think, everyone throws that word out, development. Well, what's that even mean? If you're not measuring things or don't have numbers to measure, it's hard to track. So when you can show a player this is where they came in, whether that's a metric on their fastball or their zone discipline or just something as simple as a vertical jump in the weight room. I think if you start that at an early age and you're tracking what you're doing, if there's some growth, then you're doing the right things. If there's not, then you need to recalibrate, probably do some things different. So that's I think where it starts. We've been fortunate enough. We've got a phenomenal alumni and donor base here that allows us to do some things like purchase a TrackMan unit, which if you watch baseball games on MLB, the shadow box on Sunday Night Baseball, like we can literally do the same thing here at ACU. So every pitch that's thrown, we know if it's ball or strike in real time. We can put up on our video board. And, we know when power makes the right call, the wrong call sometimes. So it's a great tool to have just to give guys an idea on where they are, how they stack up with other Division I baseball players, how they stack up with Major League players. So there's a lot of data to pull, which, I don't know, makes it fun to come to park too.
Well, and I think the other thing about that, when Josh mentioned, we mentioned the Power 5 games winning, the success that you've had, the stability that you have at ACU. I don't care where you're at. When you have stability as a coach, it matters. The other thing that we know that matters is facilities.
Yeah.
And ACU's done a really good job. Misty sees the new stadium across the street from her bank, the renovations to Moody, and of course, Crutcher Scott's been a stadium that has drawn a lot of playoff games and excitement, and of course, everything that was with that. But y'all have some exciting news about y'all's facility as well.
Yeah, it was a little tease posted yesterday, but we've got a pretty extensive upgrade coming here over the summer. It's going to be rolled out in a few phases, I think. But phase 1 will get underway here honestly, when we wrap this thing up next week, that'll be released formally this afternoon or this morning, maybe. But it's a great time to be a Wildcat, man. Our administration, Dr. Schubert, Zach Lasser, I know the countless hours, Sam Ferguson you mentioned, those guys have put so much time and effort into trying to continue to build our program to one that's, I don't know, all the alumni can be proud of, but, putting a brand out there that's not only regional but national, and just continue to expand that footprint. I think is important for me as the head baseball coach, but also want to see our athletic department thrive. I want to see I want ACU to get to the biggest stage. That's at the end of the story. That's our biggest goal, is to try to get our university, our program, our department on the biggest stage and share our story.
Well, and you've seen that with DBU.
Right.
DBU is they've been in Omaha and they've had that success, and there's no reason. Of course, everybody goes back to real quick to the free throw that was made in March Madness and what the ACU Wildcats did to Texas. But while you can't see that in baseball, and to me, that's something that when you have administration, again, no matter what level you're at, high school or at the college level, supporting that, because success does produce success and it makes a difference in young men's lives. And I know that you're real big about more than baseball, but what kind of men they're going to be when they get out.
For sure. We talk student, person, player all the time. I'm proud of it, man. We'll talk we got 3.39 GPA and 11 semesters here. So we're going to encourage our guys and try to create systems for our guys to be successful in the classroom. Hopefully, we had 4 guys that moved on to play professional baseball last spring. Again, how cool would it be to let those guys get on, the biggest platform of MLB baseball or a World Series or an All-Star game, and again, share their story. So I think that's what we want, right? But for the guy that doesn't make that far, it's a rock solid community leader, that knows how to lead himself, lead his family, lead others, and that's what we're really trying to. I think that's my calling. That's our calling as a staff, is to help young men do that.
Now, as a father, of course, again, we go back to Little League. How are things with Miles now post Williamsport?
Yeah.
What's the Wiley Bulldog organization like athletically for him?
Oh man, he's enjoyed it. A lot of great guys. He's in 7th grade now, so undefeated in football, undefeated in basketball. They've got a really good little group. I don't know. Who knows what that looks like, but they think they're invincible, I think, right now. It's coming at some point, as we all know, but he's had a great experience, and he enjoys every bit of it.
And so to finish the weekend, you got today and tomorrow with Seattle. I'll ask Misty's question. She asks us, what does today look like? I know they moved the game up to 4, correct?
No, we're still at 6 today.
Okay.
Yesterday it got bumped to 4.
Okay, yesterday. Yeah. Okay, so today at 6. So what does the routine look like? You mentioned you don't want to look too much to the flight on Sunday because you have 2 games. What do the next 2 days look like for Coach McCarty?
Yeah, this is senior weekend for us. So we've got 9 guys that graduated. So tonight we'll kind of recognize the 9 guys that graduated. We'll have about 13 guys tomorrow. They'll play their last game at Crutcher Scott Field. We've got a few grad transfers. Miller Lattisal's one, not grad transfers, but graduate students. Miller Lattisal's one who's been here pretty much during our tenure. Austin Glaze will start as a senior who's had a lot of experience here. So today we'll do pregame meal always 3.5 hours before the game. So we'll eat together as a team, kind of go over what that looks like. College baseball, man, starts 2.5 hours before the game starts. So we always hit 2 hours before. Each team gets 40 minutes on the field. We'll hit for 40 minutes. They'll hit for 40 minutes. There'll have to be about a 40-minute turnover with in and out and some infield and stuff. And we'll tee up at 6 tonight. Tomorrow's at 1 o'clock. We'll honor our seniors and grad guys. So I'd encourage a lot of people. These guys, they've kind of turned the corner, here at the Division I level. So we want to send those guys off on a good note. If you want to get all the way into it, we've got a bus leaving at 6. Daryl, our bus driver, is going to take off to Phoenix tomorrow with a lot of equipment and stuff. And then we're going to fly out Sunday. He'll pick us up at the airport. So there's a lot of moving parts.
That is a lot.
Yeah, man, a lot of moving parts. But
you don't have to be the travel secretary, do you?
I think we all wear some of those hats. Yeah, no, that's a lot of that hits my desk. So that's part of it. That's good. So we've got a great staff to handle the majority of it.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time. Again, baseball series going on, conference tournament happening, trying to pack one thing down to the stadium. I'm sure there's clothes everywhere, laundry. Coaches' wives have got to be huge, right?
Ryan is awesome. No, she's phenomenal, and she's a mom of 3, and yeah, I could not do this without her.
So again, appreciate you'll see the news of the facelift that may be coming to Crutcher Scott Field. And again, the Wildcats today playing in Seattle and tomorrow recognizing seniors. Coach, appreciate and congratulations. The movement and the success that Wildcat baseball is doing.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having this morning. Go Wildcats.
All right, there you go. Go Wildcats. And when we come back, we may have a Wildcat out of jail on the golf course. We'll be back right after this.
All right, man.
Let's do a quick selfie.
Okay.
That way Josh has to hold it because he has the longest arms. And we usually get like right here. I've got to bring my like little holder.
Oh, the selfie stick?
Yeah, or like a ring light, something. Sorry, I totally grabbed whatever that was.
That's a terrible picture, but we got.
I can adjust the angle.
Appreciate y'all
Good
having
luck
us
to
on.
y'all,
Thank you.
safe travels.
What bank are you at?
I'm at Coleman County Savings.
you're
So
right
literally, right, yeah, my office window, when I look out my office window, it's the stadium right there. It's awesome.
So
Out
what
west
are
view.
you hoping to do with the whole thing? So there's the whole project is like 21 so it's enormous. There's 4 phases. We're going to get through phase 1 for sure, which would be a whole, but I don't know if you saw it, but it's basically the whole west side. So our offices, player venues, stand on the, right now would be from the press box west, southwest. So like basically people are walking through everything's right. There is a path that we may get all the way to the press box this summer, hopefully. They can't do it all at one time anyway, just we'll set to open up in the fall next year. So, phase 1 will be done, hopefully phase 2 will be done prior to season opening, and then phase 3 and 4 will start. That's the visiting team dug out. That will be nothing that like you guys, there's a pitching development center that will be underneath the third base side, which will partner with like I guess be multi-purpose with the visiting team locker room. You mentioned like some of these schools aren't going to come back here. Baylor's not coming back. TCU doesn't want to come back.
The visitor does that.
Yeah, because we beat them a couple times now. So like we're at that point where kind of people lie on the news or on the radio, but like I don't know. Did play early because RPI now RPI where it should be, so it doesn't make any sense to play. But we've beaten them enough times now where it's like
They don't want their midweek game to be
all of a sudden
travel to a loss.
They really want to hurry you in, I guess I don't know. So we're in a little bit of transition right now. So hopefully a new stadium will, there's no excuses now.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the level path.
Thank you so
Yeah, very good
much.
to see you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
No.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Life and everything in between. Joining us in studio was Coach Rick McCarty, head baseball coach at ACU. You know, Josh, when we love sports, and I know you're a big baseball guy, and Misty with the softball daughter and all that. And I appreciate all the schools that are here. But you think about what ACU's done over the last stretch of time, and I know being the basketball guy, but let's face it, when ACU beat Texas, it was huge.
Right, it was.
But you start thinking about it again, you being right across the street, of really all the things that are happening at ACU, the facilities, because again, Facilities matter.
Big time.
Even the nicer, older, newer ones, when there's
older, newer, got it. Makes perfect
There's that alphabet again.
Yeah.
when the brand new building, I mean, for example, Globe Life is perfect. The stadium across the street from Globe Life Field, 30 of the
Still
other
fully functional.
The other teams in the Major League Baseball, except that have new stadiums, would love it. And then you look across the street at the barbecue grill and like, man, that is awesome. And so facilities do matter, because I talked to a guy this past week. He goes, man, that's the first time I've been in there. AC and all this. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
It's very nice. And so, again, be on the lookout. Coach McCarty said, I believe there may be a release shortly after when our show ends on about what all they plan on doing. And, we've gone to a game together. And I just think they do a pretty good job trying to put a product out there that you want to go watch.
Oh, they do, and it's one of those things that's always. I guess it's still novel to me because we watch a lot of baseball at our house, a lot of college baseball, and so we have the ESPN Plus app because they play college baseball games. And you can flip through the games that are on today, and not all the ACU games, but quite a few of them are on ESPN Plus. It's so it's like I said, it's kind of novel. You're flipping through there, and you got your SEC schools and your Big 12 schools, and all the the recognizable logos and all of that, and then one of them's the ACU Wildcats. So it's one of those things that takes some getting used to, I guess, because I'm not it's still like I said, it's new ish now, but because I guess this is 3 years that they've been in the WAC, which is a full fledged Division I conference.
Yeah.
So that's it's good that they do those things, and I was impressed with what Coach said about the analytics. I talked to a student that was in their analytics department, that was working with, I guess, through some kind of school studying, doing that as kind of like their stats and things like that. And so I wanted to ask him that question about how he uses those analytics. And I know that overall it is the point, but to have them talk about you're looking at those individual things for that individual player to show improvement and know what's working and build on that, and how you use that stuff to boil down to make each person better at what they do, and that's just kind of to have that technology and stuff that's just not available everywhere. That's I like that.
Yeah.
Know what you're doing, try to get better, have coaches that are helping make that program work for you. So that's enlightening.
Well, and all that stuff matters. And one of the things that matters is stats and all those things. And one of the things that happened this week, and we're finally going to get to it because there's so much to talk about. We'll talk maybe more college or NFL schedule next week. 18.9 million, Misty, and 2.1 million. You want to guess what those numbers are?
I'm thinking this has to do with Caitlin Clark. 21, is that her shoe deal?
No, 18.9 million people watched Caitlin Clark in the Iowa versus South Carolina title game. Just 2.1 million watched her WNBA debut. And this is from Clay Travis on Twitter. Women's college basketball has lots of fans. The WNBA does not. A couple things. Again, Caitlin Clark had her opening week, or opening night. She has played 2 regular season games. And the first night, let me ask, I know you said you were going to watch highlights. Did you watch highlights or did you catch a lot?
First game, highlights. Last night, we actually did tune in, and I wanted to kind of see. I've never watched a full WNBA game, and I hate to admit that, but it's just the truth. I'm just really more of a fan of the college level, especially over. I watch a little NBA, especially the Mavs are in it, but the WNBA is just not my jam. But I did tune in. Josh witnessed this. He had to come over and grab something for the JA golf tournament next week, and he saw that we were tuning into it. And my thoughts on Caitlin. Obviously, she's getting, everybody's like, oh, she's the GOAT, she's the GOAT. And she's kind of getting some bad press because what Diana Taurasi said, and she got some backlash for several weeks ago about, hey, like, basically in so many words, we'll see what happens when you get here. Like, this is a completely different ball game than what you're used to. She kind of, I don't think, was trying to be negative necessarily, but a lot of people thought that Diana Taurasi was being negative in some of those comments. But what she said is so far is very true. The pace of play and the physicality in the W is just way different than what Caitlin Clark is used to. And you see this in the games that she's played this week. think she had 20 points. She went 5 out of 15 in her first game, preseason game, and then she had 10 turnovers. The Fever really struggling with some turnovers, and then last night I think she ended up with maybe 9 points, and she had a few turnovers. She had, I think, 6 assists, 6 or 8 rebounds. So overall, a decent showing there for her first, actual debut. But I mean, you just watch her. They are trapping her. I mean, they've got her number. I mean, they know what she's going to do. And until she can come out of that trap situation, I think every team, why wouldn't you trap her? And you see the frustration watching her. She's not getting those shots off, obviously, like she was at the college level. And that's kind of what Diana Taurasi was saying. Like, it's a totally different ball game. And I think right now Caitlin Clark is feeling that, and we are all seeing that.
Well, and again, I know Josh is going back through his DVR on his phone right now to watch what he missed. Here's the thing. One thing that I learned was the irony is she scored 20 in her opener against Connecticut on Tuesday. And they were last year and coming into this year, the number one defensive team in the WNBA. So the irony is that she found a way to get 20 that night, and then she got 8 last night against the Liberty.
Okay, yeah.
And the Liberty come to the Fever, which is weird. It's kind of like the MLB schedule. It seems like they played the Liberty last night at home, and then they'll go to New York on Saturday tomorrow to play the Liberty again. Here's the thing, and I don't care what level it's at. And for those of us that went through, and all of us, I believe, stopped at high school, when you went to another level, whether it was 8th grade to freshman, freshman to JV, JV to varsity, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game, all of that went up a notch. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Is she going to I think what our biggest thing is, we saw the domination, air quote, at the college level. And I'm not saying we. I don't think Josh thought this. I don't think you thought this. I didn't necessarily think of it. I think we thought, man, it's just going to happen.
A lot of people did think it was just going to happen.
And they thought, and we see the 18. Now, when you start looking at viewership of things, I always think that is a struggle to get true validity off of that, because you also have to look what else is going on that night. And for me, I was going back and forth, and I need to look, but there was a few different things that I was watching Tuesday night.
Well, and you and I both were on the live last night watching Abilene High and Wiley baseball. So I had that on my phone, and then I was watching
Well, don't tell anybody I was doing that as I was driving there.
But
geez.
yeah, it just, it's like Ryan Holmes is watching or whatever. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that she will be fine once she makes some adjustments. But, man, Fever is they have got a lot to work on. I mean, they
that's
are
the other
sloppy.
Thing. Well, but that's the other thing that you've got to remember. There's a reason they picked number 1.
Right.
Well, they're terrible. Right. But gosh, I mean, watching, who I really enjoyed watching last night was Brianna Stewart. She is.
Who's a veteran.
Yes. She is very fun to watch. But I felt for Caitlin, but also it's like, this is just kind of the passage. This is what you have to do. Uh-oh, breaking news here. What do you got there, Hodge?
Breaking news. With umbrella, not in an orange jumpsuit, but in a Nike pullover and pants, Teddy Scott and Scotty Scheffler walking to...
Is he going to play?
He ain't there to hang out.
But I mean...
Well, someone's got to let him play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do we know yet if he's for sure playing? And listeners, if you're listening, do you know if Scotty is actually getting to play?
Scheffler's tee time has not changed. He is on his way to play golf.
Oh, my gosh.
I think there will be a large public outcry if he is not suspended.
Yeah, I agree.
More just from the people who like to have public outcry.
Yeah.
Not a representation of the real American people, but...
Yes, agreed. Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he is on his way to the golf course, and now, well, I guess we do, because people are going to bet. What do you think? Does the number change, Josh, on betting on Scotty? Like, the number was X going into because he's number 1 player in the world. Now, do they go in and say, coming off of being arrested, your number goes to here?
Oh, I'm sure it'll change. And I'm sure there's people that will put money on other people now because they think that maybe Scheffler's not going to finish the weekend, and like so. I don't follow golf gambling, so I don't really know how all that works specifically. But for sure, people edited their thoughts for the weekend, made some different adjustments on where they put some money. Maybe thought, well, now's the time to buy, player X, Y, Z. Like I'm sure it happens.
What a story, though. If he really does get to play and he comes back and wins this thing, can you imagine that? We said it, I think, in the break or maybe earlier, just the mental strength of that, because he's got to be completely rattled. Maybe he doesn't appear that way, but on the inside, I can only imagine how rattled I would be if I just was in an orange jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's
Literally, it's so wild.
It's so wild. We're like speechless.
I was thinking just through that process of what you would be thinking. Like you got that holding the outcome of whatever legal proceedings will happen are obviously going to be on your mind as far as how do you put that behind you. As far as and like I said, I cannot see in a normal in no other major sport would he be allowed to play today.
I completely. He's probably like, I'm free. I mean, he's
so I'm
excited.
just sitting here again, loving what we've gotten to do for 5 years. Marty Smith, who's been on the show, is behind Scotty and Ted Scott. Teddy's got a smile on his face. Scotty is, the irony is he's wearing white, so pure. When we come back, Josh, if there ever was a Friday where knowing he's at the battle, you've got a lot of options.
I cannot believe he's about to play.
I need internet to be better on this iPad.
This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Wow.
So what'd you do today? Got arrested and shot.
But he's probably ecstatic just to be out right now.
What did you do today? I got arrested and shot 60.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even I'm gonna see it.
I know.
Is there not any in the fridge?
No.
Hey, do you want to pour something up?
No, I do not.
Here, hey, pour some of this.
Pour some sugar on me.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with this cup.
No, I don't. I'm not. I'll survive for another 20 minutes.
Hey, so what'd you do today? Well, nothing big. I got arrested and shot 66.
Solid police officer, normal Friday.
I think it's important for the player to get in this abbreviated practice time, not to try to hit balls too fast. You're still trying to get warmed up properly, but also you're working on a rhythm that you're trying to get throughout the course of the day, and this is a situation where you can get that moving faster than you normally like.
Excellent point. You heard him say to Ted Scott as we were following Scheffler down the hill, let's go straight to the range. So let's go hit balls.
Yeah, he normally would putt some first, then hit balls, and that kid back there had a couple putts as he walked up there.
So you probably, we'll see it unfold here in the next 30 minutes, but he's going to hit some on the range, hit some balls, and then probably have some sort of abbreviated short game warm up as well.
Well, and can you imagine just his routine obviously so thrown off.
Oh,
Oh, it's adjusting.
I mean, wow.
These guys have done this kind of stuff enough. He understands what he has to do to get
Golf,
there.
Andy, not
You've
arrested.
done this kind of stuff enough. Oh, you've been arrested and released just in time to make it for a warm up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done that a lot.
Oh my god.
Did you see the teardrop post?
Yes.
So funny.
Prison cat.
Arrested and shot 62.
Golly. So funny.
Josh has already convicted him, innocent until proven guilty, is what my dad said.
I'm not convicting anybody. He's been charged with assaulting a police officer.
Yeah.
It's a pending charge, but how do you let him play? Like,
Yeah, like you said, in no other sport would that be happening. Ay.
I just think you guys are over it.
who said that?
Me, I just think going against a white guy. Don't even know how you live with yourself. I'm glad we got our jingle back.
Jenga? Jenga?
I say that. Our knowing is half the battle. Point 7 has been taken off the internet. Now you know.
Too many plays. We need to rip it off.
God, now, first they steal my league of their own. Now they're stealing that. We're getting too big.
That's what she said.
Ha! Never. That's never
Never.
what she said. That's never what she said. Oh, Josh is like, geez.
Yeah.
What a morning, Joshy.
It must be right, and what is right is Scotty Scheffler is on the golf course. Josh may not think it's right, but right or wrong. But Josh, if there's ever been, I mean, there's so many things that have happened today, from know your traffic route, know how to drive. You probably have so many other knowing half the battle. So, Josh, I turn it over to you.
Okay, well, this week, I guess I could adjust on the fly, but I'd already, had this thought out in my head because it's something that I do think everyone needs to know, and that is that like fear is something everyone has to face fears. There are things that in your life you have to go through, and sometimes you just got to step up and face it. It's that there's fight or flight at times. And fear itself is not wrong because everybody has fear, but it's how you react to those fears.
That's a true story, Josh.
That define you as a person and can be what makes you better is how you adjust to those fears. And in fact, I had a weird fight or flight moment this morning. And Misty has talked about the tunnels that you have to use to get to our studio when you get here early in the morning. So this morning I was walking in, had just kind of was listening to some on the radio, talking about the Scotty Scheffler thing, and I was then I switched to music during a commercial, so I was kind of jamming out to some '90s alternative, that's my I'm in a good mood jam.
That's how you get ready, right when Dwight Schrute gets ready, he jams out before a sales meeting.
So Better Than Ezra song happened to come on that I was really kind of got behind. Man, that's a weird
throwback.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm bebopping along, walking in the hall, and I turn the corner, and I quite literally thought I needed to throw down with a naked plus size underwear mannequin.
What?
It scared me bad.
I knew exactly where this was going because when you come through, so again, where we come in is how people would come to work and all those things and employees. And so when you come to the tunnel, Victoria's Secret is there, and that is.
It's a plus size naked mannequin, and it scared me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't come through the tunnel today.
You're going to have to go out that way.
No, we'll go together.
And here's the thing, Josh. She has been there for about a week or so.
And she's just still nude?
Well, no, I think you're focused on the wrong part. Is that when you turn the corner, you and your
a nude
it
model.
it was there last week. I do remember walking by and thinking that, but it didn't catch me last week as I turned the corner. It did this morning. But yeah, it's so anyway. That was just a furtherance.
So what is there to know about that?
It's a furtherance of my thing. It's like my reaction right then was like I had the instant fight reaction. So it's like the fight or flight. And then I was like, oh wait, that's just a mannequin.
That would have been only better if Josh hit,
I broke it,
and then it fell on top of you and you lost.
You hit the mannequin
I was assaulted by a mannequin. So anyway, but it reminded me of sometimes it's those how you react to those fears and how you get over it that defines you as a person. So long story long, I've worked at the bank that I'm at now. I've been there for almost 2 years. So the David Green, who's the market president here, he gets to work super early every morning. I don't beat him to work. I like to get to work early, but I got to take my kids to school and everything else. But he has a meeting, a breakfast meeting every Wednesday. So he's a little bit later than normal. Like he doesn't get there like till 8 o'clock, versus getting there and I show up and he's already there. So when you're the first person at the bank, you have to turn off the alarm and go through all the processes and all of this. Well, the first time that I got there and no one else was there, I was like, all right, I'm going to go in the bank and get, So I go inside. I somehow mess up the keypad. I set off the alarm. I get a call, and then I don't remember what the code word is when they called.
Terrible.
And
yes.
so then the cops are like all involved, and it was just because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so that's 2 years ago. And now if I get to work and I'm the first one there, I just sit in my pickup and wait for someone else to get there because I'm afraid to mess it up.
You don't fly, you fear to
Yeah,
fly.
Fear takes over.
I just sit in the pickup,
It's the cost,
wait.
right?
Yeah,
It elevates it. We learned today.
So, but sometimes there's things that you have to stack your fears to know what you're more scared of. All right. So this last Wednesday, and this might be more information than most need to know, but you're going to get it. I was driving to work after dropping off the kids, and I started, making my way down Treadway, and suddenly it's like I've got to go to the bathroom, and I've got to go now.
Worst feeling in the
Like,
world.
Where I'm thinking, like, is there anywhere I can go? And I was like, well, there's that pretty sketchy. I'm gonna
You go through your phone. Do I know anybody in this neighborhood?
And I'm thinking, well, maybe I drive to the country club, and like, well, no, it'd take me a while to get in there, and it's like, I get to the office, and I'm literally at this point praying that someone is there,
and clenching. Terrible.
Praying that someone is there. So I get there, and no one's there. I'm the only one in the parking lot. And I had this moment of like, what do I fear more, setting off the alarm or pooping my pants? And it was really the two choices that I had to face. So in that moment, I think, all right, I got to do it. I got to go in. So I go in the door. I effectively get the alarm shut off. It did not go off, so I conquered that. That fear was conquered because I feared something else worse. So sometimes
Stack your fears.
You got to make those choices. So you got to face fears to overcome them, and sometimes it takes a worse fear for you to do that. But that's what defines you as a person, how you attack those fears.
There you go. Probably one of the most educational. Define, stack your fears, know your security code, and know all places you can pop in.
I mean, honestly, because when that hits, it is scary. I think every human being knows that feeling. And not me, like, as you were talking, looking down at your pants going, okay, I think he made it. I wanted to make sure. I was like, watching.
Misty actually thought that was today.
I actually thought that was this morning, and possibly you just had to go buy a new pair of pants. But
luckily, I'm at the mall.
Yeah.
I'm happy to know that you made it.
Ironically, the true story is he was scared of the mannequin, and that's how it happened. We'll be back right after this.
Oh my God!
I knew where you were going because I saw that big old lady over there.
I just would have died. You were like punched her in the boob.
I was looking at my phone, like reading like some Scotty Scheffler tweets, and I go around the corner.
You walk into yeah, that would have been hilarious. You like just flex like, yeah. I'm so glad because y'all, I would have probably screamed bloody murder.
You need to go see this. I mean, she's a nice lady, but.
And then I was thinking, like, this is Victoria's Secret. I thought it was supposed to be like sexy women.
I'm just cracking up. Like, I can just picture you literally taking her boob out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a punch, or maybe your face lands somewhere in her chest.
I think the only thing would be better if you
a motorboat.
You just motorboated? Is that what you said?
He motorboated the mannequin. Can you imagine
How do you motor-
if you would have fell on the mannequin?
I don't know how plastic
How tall
motors.
is she? I mean, I'm
You're
picturing.
gonna meet this chick.
This tall.
You're gonna meet.
Okay, I'm just picturing like a big lady.
We'll walk down the hall.
Okay, well, I'm like picturing a big like mannequin lady. So I didn't know if y'all were like tall. You know,
It's
she
not.
was
It's
tall
not
as you.
tall. It's not like you're doing like.
That's a huge. Yeah. Oh my god.
Huge.
Oh, I'm crying laughing. Oh my gosh.
So parched.
I know you took the last water.
I told you I'd pour some in a cup.
Haji
I'm just
took
giving
the
you a
last
hard time.
water.
Here, take some Lysol.
There's 2 benefits to being here. It's a bottle of water and a burrito, and I'm all out of water.
There is now a new benefit.
Um,
She's nude in the hallway.
Nude.
Hey, I will tell you what is true story. I've got a friend of mine from a co-op that lives in Kentucky, and she's put. If y'all all saw the mess that is at the entrance of Valhalla before an accident that stopped traffic, you would understand how chaotic it must have been.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
I can imagine. Oh my gosh, that was a great story, but I really thought that you were about to crap your pants. Like as you were going, I was like, gosh, I hope that he didn't do what I think.
I thought you know, because I've got about 4 places outside my home that I'm okay with.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have IBS, and there's no way I could have made it.
Mine.
Like I'm not
Hey,
kidding.
the club, Dillard's, Men's, obviously the co-op office. I may not have a 4.
Well, when I used
That
to
one
travel-
time I did it in y'all's. I don't mind here because I've had to be.
Oh my god, that's the worst. Like when I'm like, oh my gosh, my second just dropped, and I have to go, and then I have to be back in like 3 minutes. Like that takes skill.
I hate when I fart in my office, and I hate that.
I hate when you fart here too, because that no
No.
wonder it always stinks in
It
here.
No,
does stink
I
there.
don't
This
fart
time
here.
I think it smelled like it pooped
Hey.
itself when I got it.
Are y'all good with talking? Have y'all looked at any of the NFL schedule?
No. I saw the tweet come out that I should have looked at.
A little bit. I mean, it's
Okay,
easy to
so-
pull.
I can pull up my
It's easy to.
Cowboys schedule.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between. Getting you ready for the weekend and getting you ready for some great stuff going on this weekend for you to do. Obviously, Coach Rick McCarty, you got ACU baseball tonight and tomorrow at Crutcher Scott Field as Seattle's in town. Not the Mariners, but Seattle playing ACU tonight and tomorrow. And again, thank you for those that downloaded last week's podcast. We appreciate you guys downloading that. Coach Seago and the Holly Bearcats, they won last week. They're playing today against Albany at McMurray at 1 o'clock. They are playing, and you can stick around, just hang out, because Wiley and Abilene High will be playing at 6. They'll finish last night's game, and then they'll play game number 2. And again, I believe, Josh, we were mentioning it's the first time since '96 that crosstown Abilene schools are playing this late and they're playing in playoff baseball. Hermley girls are still playing softball. They're in the regional finals against Borden County. So that's taking place. A couple of other news, just side notes of high school stuff. Coach Joe Crabb, who's the head coach at Stanford Girls, he's left and go to Farwell. My cousin and obviously a good friend, Nathan Riggin, is leaving Winters and going to Ballinger. It's just that time of year where the coaches start moving locally. And so one that we thought might happen, Denny Fade doesn't look like he's retiring. He's coming back. And so, again, a lot of stuff to go on this weekend. Albany, Holly playing at McMurray. Great job. Shout out to Coach Lee, former guest of the show as well. They were having to roll the tarp out last night as I was leaving the game. The rain started coming down, and there wasn't a big crew. It was them rolling the tarp out, getting ready for their baseball games. And they 1 o'clock. Holly and Albany, and then Wiley, Abilene High, finishing that game 1 at 6, and they'll follow game 2 tonight as well. I think the weather, you normally do a pretty good job looking. Are we good weather-wise, you think?
It should be rain-free for the weekend and starting to get a little bit warm.
I'm glad. I'm hoping it's good for Mulligan's tomorrow for the bowl.
that mannequin yesterday got Jamie Richards yesterday too. So don't worry. He may say, "Don't try to find me." He found her.
I just would have died. I'm so glad I didn't go through the tunnel today.
Yeah, I wish you did.
Gosh.
You wish she died? That's
No,
a terrible
I wish
thing
she'd
to
go-
wish.
Speaking of pooping my pants, that would have been bad. I would
Yeah.
not have made the show.
Where'd Missy go? I don't know.
I would have been texting embarrassment to you guys.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'm going to let you know, if I ever poop my pants, I'm not going to say that's what happened. I'm just going to be like, hey, my tire exploded. I'm just not coming today.
No, you just hang out and blame everybody else, blame the mall walker or something. But there is a lot going on, and again, we want to encourage folks. We've had General Manager John Stark on the show, and folks have wanted it and are getting it. The Abilene Flying Bison, singular but plural, with everybody in the world, will be first pitch next Thursday at Walt Driggers Field there on the campus of McMurray. And so, again, go to our Twitter page, follow us, follow Abilene Bison at the Hodge Pack, follow us, ABI Flying Bison, and we will give away 4 tickets this coming Monday for Thursday's home opener. And so I know it's busy time. Not poor, but I know it's a busy time. Graduations are next week. Holly's graduating tonight. Josh, real quick, and Misty too. I mean, if you were playing softball at Robert Lee, or if you were playing baseball at Wiley, or me at Merkel, you got kids today that are graduating tonight at Holly that are playing in a baseball game at 1. All the things that got to be going on in your head.
All kinds of craziness. Yeah, it's that the end of the school year. There's and you got parties and different events and recognitions to go to and all of that. So there's just a lot going on, and baseball. Baseball playoffs are one of those things that kind of get in the way, but I don't know that many people ever complain that it makes it difficult. You're still playing.
No.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to have somebody, and especially let's say Holly wins 2 games, you're going to have graduates playing next week. And you'll have that all through the year because there'll be graduates playing in the state tournament. Hopefully some Hermley girls will be doing the same again. A couple things, though, from our Facebook week. Again, thank y'all for watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and obviously KLGD. Lane Miller says, shout out to Josh Lee recruiting locally, baseball players locally from Stain and Wiley. So go Warhawks. Yes, Coach Lee does a really good job. He's a busy man. Last night he was the tarp man along with his staff.
And that's the thing, like you mentioned, the Bison. Get out and support the Bison and go catch all of the college games that are here. I mean, there's so many games that we've been catching the last couple of years, and it's so much fun. Just live sports. It's where it's at. We've got great venues in Abilene. Quit crying and saying there's nothing to do. You're just not looking in the right spot. There's a lot to do in Abilene. You just got to get off the couch.
Well, and again, I've thought about this in about a minute and a half. We talk about my favorite time of the year is March Madness rolling into the Masters, and of course NFL's great. But right now, could right now fight for one of the best times in sports?
Oh, for sure it does. I mean, and that's for me. That's dependent on the Stars and the Mavericks being in the playoffs. It makes me have a little interest in. I don't watch much hockey at all, but I will turn on a Stars game in the playoffs. And we talked last week about how basketball's kind of rejuvenated itself in my household. We've watched much more NBA, but I mean. You talk about just things to watch on TV and games to kind of pay attention to and be aware of. The Rangers are obviously in mid-season now. You move into May towards Labor Day. That's when you kind of consider you kind of set the groundwork for how that season's going and kind of know what you're working with. Basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs, college baseball is going into conference tournaments this next week, and then of course we talked all about the high school softball, baseball that's going on now. I mean, there is, like Misty said, there's no shortage. If you like to watch live baseball, there's plenty of baseball to go watch.
And again, so encourage you, go follow us on Twitter, get a chance to win some Abilene Flying Bison tickets next Thursday. Again, opening night, May 23rd. Well, congratulations to anybody that's graduating tonight, especially our fans and Holly that listen to us, and we appreciate all the coaches that have joined us and the players as well. And so thank you for that. Again, go watch some baseball tonight. Great opportunity. Should be great weather. Go get you some food. Head to Lytle. Any of our folks that love us and share our sponsorships, Lytle, Potosi Live, or Mulligan's. Go check them out. Thank you so much for listening. What a day on the Hodge Pack. Josh doesn't need new pants. May be scared, and Scotty Scheffler is about to tee off. We'll see you next week.
So crazy.
That was awesome.
That was a good show.